we should limit the ability to get an abortion to other women in her
Wait,
situation.
hold on, time out. So your brother you know now.
Huh?
Is your brother survive or no?
Yes, he did.
Wait, so aren't you glad your brother wasn't aborted? I mean, come on.
I don't.
What kind of argument is that?
I don't
Aren't you
think
glad your
that
brother's not dead?
It's not that. I'm glad that he wasn't aborted.
Yes,
but
so
I'm
that's
also,
so we're
like,
pro-life. That's what we want. We don't want your brother to be aborted. Imagine how many millions other like him are aborted.
Yes, but if my mom died,
She didn't. It's not even a good argument.
Well, there's so many people that did.
No, that's not correct. I said that earlier. It only happens a couple dozen times a year, and the baby could be delivered by C-section.
People with vasa previa have a much higher rate of death than other women
yes,
who are
this
pregnant.
happens maybe a couple hundred times a year, and there's 1.5 million abortions every single year. This is on the extreme of the extreme.
If we have to take away abortions, then we're taking away from everybody, even the people who have a medical need for abortion, where the baby is going to kill them if they come out.
Again, I can grant you that, fine, we'll have those exceptions. Can we make abortion illegal for the other circumstances?
No, because
so maybe it's not about those circumstances.
No,
You're just
using
it.
It is about those circumstances.
What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. Today, guys, we're back here into a new video. Today, we're going to check out college girl proves how moral lost people have become. This is by Kirk. I call him Charlie Kick because he loves kicking us. Let's get right into today's video, guys.
I don't believe that we could use Christianity as a good moral basis for certain laws, considering that historically speaking, Christianity has committed many atrocities. I mean, the Christian Crusades killed many people, and they destroyed a lot of our written texts that didn't agree with Christian points, like, for example, the works of Sappho.
The works of what?
Sappho.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyways, I understand that this is Catholicism, but also the schools in Canada that abused many Native American people. I just don't see how we could argue that Christianity is the great moral authority that you're saying it is for making these laws when arguably they've done a lot of horrible things.
What moral code do you live by?
I'm a Buddhist, so I mean...
So it's all about yourself?
No, it's just about being... Well, I guess you could say that. But
I know Buddhism. So let's play it out. What is the top accomplishment of a Buddhist?
I guess just to be a good person and...
No, to reach nirvana, you know that.
Well, yes, but not everyone can reach nirvana.
I know, but you want to try to ascend, right? And so it's all about yourself, all inward looking, right? To try to limit your touch with the outside world, that the outside world is dirty and it's kind of polluted.
I don't believe as a Buddhist, that's not how I was taught, and I don't think it's fair for you to argue for Buddhism in that sense because
that's
you're
what
not
Buddhism,
a Buddhist.
No, I know plenty about Buddhism. So Buddhism, as it's written, is that the world is contaminated. We must remove ourselves from the world, and we're going to spiritually ascend ourselves by meditation.
But there's people who don't believe in that.
Well, then you don't believe in Buddhism. That's fine. It's okay.
Of Buddhism, and they believe in all different kinds of things.
So
just
that's
as
fine.
There's different sects of Christianity. I'm just not in that sect.
Got it. So can you what moral way do you think society should live by? Not Christianity. So what way should we live by?
I think that it's not as much about morality as much as societal, and it's just societal needs. Like, for example, like abortion. We can't argue that, Christianity is the reason that we should not allow abortions when clearly there's both a medical and a societal need for abortion.
There's not a medical reason to kill babies, right? So that doesn't exist.
Okay, well, I have one example for that. My mother had vasa previa, and they had offered her an abortion because birthing the baby would not only kill her, and, like, if she went into labor, because the placenta had split into many little veins and covered her birth canal, if she ever went into labor, and my little brother at the time, if he had pushed on the birth canal to exit her, she would have died. Both her and her son would have died.
Did your brother survive or no?
I want to continue with this point. So she was offered the opportunity for an abortion because not only was she the main breadwinner of her family, but she is also raising 2 kids as well already. The right to an abortion possibly could have saved her life. She did end up surviving, but not. I don't think that we should limit the ability to get an abortion to other women in her situation.
Wait, hold on, time out. So your brother you know now?
Huh?
Is your brother survive or no?
Yes, he did.
Wait, so aren't you glad your brother wasn't aborted? I mean, come on.
I don't...
What kind of argument is that? Aren't you glad your brother's not dead?
It's not that... I'm glad that he wasn't aborted.
Yes, so we're pro-life. That's what we want. We don't want your brother to be aborted. Imagine how many millions other like him are aborted.
Yes, but if my mom died...
She didn't. It's not even a good argument.
Well, there's so many people that did.
No, that's not correct. I said that earlier. It only happens a couple dozen times a year, and the baby could be delivered by C-section.
People with vasa previa have a much higher rate of death than other women who are
this
pregnant.
happens maybe a couple hundred times a year, and there's 1.5 million abortions every single year. This is on the extreme of the extreme.
If we have to take away abortions, then we're taking away from everybody, even the people who have a medical need for abortion, where the baby is going to kill them if they come out.
Again, I can grant you that, fine, we'll have those exceptions. Can we make abortion illegal for the other circumstances?
No, because
so maybe it's not about those circumstances.
No,
You're just using it.
It is about those circumstances, because when we take away those rights from everyone and we go into a hospital and there's an emergency need to remove a baby, then we have to prove that there's an actual emergency need instead of just it being an automatic right. Then doctors aren't going to be willing to...
You don't have a right to murder another human being.
It's not necessarily a right. It's just the ability to be
So when your brother was in your mom's womb, was your brother a human being?
I mean, I don't want to argue that. I think that we could argue
about
that.
She knows the truth. She knows what to
gaslight.
When your brother was
in, useful.
When your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
Yes. Yes.
I believe that on my moral compass, I believe that he was, but I don't think that my moral compass should dictate the medical needs and the societal needs of others.
Fine. What moral compass should we use to write laws then?
Not necessarily a single one. I think that everyone's moral compass is different, and that we should be able to...
Which one should say, for example...
The one that supports women the most, the one that allows women to get medical...
Why is that good? I mean, by what book do you reference? By some moral standard you're appealing to, what is it?
Sorry, what?
No, yeah, by what moral standard do you say that we should have health care for women? What? At some point, you're basing this on something. What is it?
I think that it's not even a moral standard. It's in the Constitution. Women should have equal rights, and that includes the right to
You do not have a right to murder another, because life is the first right. We've been through that. But I'm saying, at some point, you say you don't want Christianity to have the moral source. So I ask you, by what moral code should we live by?
Well, I don't think there's a defining moral code that we should live by.
Of course there is. Should we help the sick?
Well, yes,
should we help the poor?
Okay, but my moral code as a Buddhist is that I should never kill an animal. And many Christians hunt. Many people, kill animals for a living. That's how they make a living. I'm not talking about your personal.
Society has to make decisions, right?
Yeah, and when society makes decisions, they should account for the fact that everyone has a different moral compass. If we're a society that, first of all, a modern society, we shouldn't be basing our moral compass off of a book made thousands of years ago.
Well, first of all, Buddhism's very old too. But
I agree. That's why I don't think Buddhism. I don't think we should ban people going out to hunt because I don't believe in killing animals.
At some point, we have to decide what laws to make. We have to say something.
And I think the laws should be dependent on
what?
How we can most benefit the people already existing in our society.
Well, okay, but don't people in the womb exist?
That's you could argue that for so long. I don't think it's really useful when we're talking about.
Are you glad you weren't aborted? Are you glad you weren't aborted?
I'm not. I mean, if it was something that if aborting me would have benefited my mother far more than having me would have, then I wouldn't be necessarily angry about it. It's not.
See, I'm glad your mom did not abort you, because I think life is beautiful. And I want to give that gift to as many people as possible.
Yeah, but you're also, in the same turn, taking that gift away from women. If a woman has a medical need and her life is in danger,
I've already granted.
Having this
Let's
baby.
say abortion is legal for medical circumstances. 1.4 million.
But then when we get rid of abortion for those exceptions, right, we need to think about how it is applied in the actual...
Abortion is the #1 form of birth control in the country right now. Over 1.4 million abortions every single year for non-rape, non-incest, non-life of the mother.
It's really the #1 form of birth control in this country?
Well, that we know
I highly doubt
actually,
that.
if you think about it, if you think about the day after pill.
That's crazy.
Right? If you think about the day after pill.
People are spending $50 for a abortion instead of, like, you know, the pull-out method, getting a condom. You really think, in your twisted worldview, you really think the #1 form of birth control is abortion?
Plan B.
I'm sorry, that's crazy.
No, Plan B, right? Abortifacients, at-home abortions, chemical abortions, surgical abortions. All those can be defined as abortifacients. Yes, you might be right, okay? You might say condoms are more than that. But abortion has become a form of birth control. Can you agree with that?
True.
I mean, anything that... Well, all of it, obviously, anything can be considered birth control. I mean, me deciding to not have sex is birth control. I mean,
that's what more people should do.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't think that that's necessarily something that we can police. Like, what, you're going to go into people's bedrooms?
I'm not policing, but I'm saying, though, if you're going to decide to have sex, don't kill the baby after you have sex. Pretty simple. Because you made a decision to get pregnant.
I don't think that that's necessarily a good argument. I mean, there's more nuance to that.
There's no nuance to it. A human life exists. I can't murder someone in the crowd. Why? Because murder is wrong. You can't murder someone in a womb. Why? Because murder is wrong.
Simple.
Thank you for your time.
This lady right here, her worldview is fucked up. Like, really fucked up. She's a Buddhist, and at the same time, not actually a fully Buddhist. She does pick out what she wants from a religion. And I feel like she's kind of like pissed off with Christianity. She's kind of like angry with Christianity. This lady like this, she can't date a Christian. No. And also, she can't have a friend which is a Christian. With her behavior like this, she's kind of like angry with Christians. I don't know where anger, where pain is coming from, but she sounded like one. I won't judge her, but at the same time, but I feel like she's kind of like angry with Christianity in a certain way. I don't know what really happened in her spiritual life, but I know something happened. So at the same time, this aspect of abortion of a thing, like it's a very serious issue. It's a very important discussion that we should all have. Charlie is making a point that you don't abort kids. Over 1.4 to 1.5 million babies are being aborted every year. It is very concerning. Very concerning. And this lady right here, she's saying, what about if the mother is have a life threat, she has to get rid of the child so she'll save herself. The rate at which people have such is very less, over 1% out of 100%. So people who are being raped, who mothers and women are being, their life is at risk, is just 1%. Okay, let's say 2%. So if you pick that out of 100%, you know that the margin is very high. So 99% or 98% of women who choose to have abortion, they see it as a form of birth control. Whether she chooses to accept it or not is a form of birth control right now. I know of someone who did exactly the same thing. Having sex with this partner without checking her calendar, without checking anything. But when they get pregnant, they just want to go and get rid of it, just want to go and abort, which is terrible. You know the consequences for your action. You know when you have sex, you are highly prompt to get a baby. You are not barren. Neither do you have any medical issues. So your actions have consequences as a result to what you have done. Do you get? So it's very, very important that people take priority of their body and also on their actions. So then she's happy that her mom did not abort her brother. She was actually contradicting her own self while speaking to Charlie right here. Because your mom, if she had aborted that baby, you wouldn't have a brother. Number one. And number two, there's something called CS, cesarean sections. It is very, very effective. I work in a hospital. Do you understand? The CS session is very, very valuable, very, very important. It helps save a lot of women, a lot of mothers. Emergency CS, like a lot. I've seen a lot of women delivering through CS successfully, and it's very quick. So there are other means to help the mother and also help the child, aside pushing the baby out from the mother's vagina. You understand? The natural way that the mother pushed the baby out. You don't make excuses for abortion. Do you get me? So the first important thing is that save the baby. The baby still counts. The baby matters. If you don't want a child, then you should abstain from sex. Or you should use a condom. Simple as that. Comment down below what you think about this video. Give us some thumbs up, share this video as many as you can. Subscribe to our channel, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This lady's worldview is she needs help. See you guys in the next video, guys.